Um, the next topic, I feel very emotional about, and I think it's an extremely important topic, and it is I really the working class versus the elite theme. So the Brexit side is portraying a vote to leave as a revolt of the working class, of the little people against all these oligarchs and against the evil elite. Um, Now, first of all, I do absolutely 100% understand why, in this country in particular, a lot of working class and even middle class people are really angry because it's just going downwards for a lot of people. There is no improvement. Salaries go down. Uh, Services by the government get worse. The housing crisis is a catastrophe for a lot of people who can't afford housing anymore. And and what's worse, I think, is two things. First, you don't really have a feeling that your kids are going to be much better off because you can't afford all the expensive schools and universities that would guarantee or would give your kids an equal chance like kids of richer parents have. And the other thing is also that nobody really seems to care. Uh, like the people in the UK who are successful, the millionaires, the media types, the artists, uh, the intellectuals, the upper middle class, the bankers, they don't really seem to care about your problems. And if you see millionaires, they would rather build some village in Africa and make some photos there than help their own citizens who have really serious problems that they face and who are getting desperate. And so I can perfectly understand that people are angry. Uh, and here with the EU vote, suddenly there is an opportunity to pay it back to all these people who ignore your problems, who don't listen, who don't pay attention, and you kind of almost feel like this a huge enthusiasm about this vote because this is now finally an opportunity you can make your voice heard. The problem is that leaving the European Union is not going to hurt the elite. I mean, they won't care. Even myself, I mean, I don't consider myself elite at all. I'm a middle class software engineer, but even I am prepared for Brexit. I mean, I have already converted most of my pounds into other currencies because I know that the pound will fall a lot after a vote to leave. You have speculators, hedge funds who are already ready for the market turmoil after a vote leave. And you have, of course, people on the leave side, like a Nigel Farage. He doesn't care because he has been a stockbroker. He has enough money to weather the likely recession we will get from a vote to leave. Boris Johnson has an American passport. He can leave the country if things go downwards. the people, and I can tell this from experience in Switzerland when we had our recession while we were outside the single market. The people who will get hit the worst are the working class people. Nobody will get hit worse than people in industry jobs, in low-skilled jobs, and it's almost a bit dramatic that these are the people who get hit the worst are the ones who are the most enthusiastic about voting to leave. Now, of course, this is telling you that you're just gonna shoot yourself in the leg is of course one thing, but it's not really a solution. And I think from what I see in the UK, I think the working class people really gets a bad deal from its government if you compare it with other countries. And there are things you could do to actually improve the situation of working class families. I mean, first of all, education, because education is the path to a better job opportunities, and it is an absolute failure that of the UK government. I think that it's still like that today. That if you have rich parents, you have much better chances at getting a good education than if you are from a working class family. And in Switzerland or also in Germany, this is not the case. In Switzerland, for example, the state schools are so good that there's no point in going to a public school and paying high fees for it. The same is true in Germany, the same is true in Scandinavia, in Finland. So other countries with, and in Switzerland's case, even with collecting only half the tax, seem to be able to deliver a good education for everyone, so that everyone has a fair chance at succeeding in life. The other thing is, of course, and also when you go to the next level, to university, again, other countries offer university for free. It doesn't depend on your money whether you can afford a university education or not. And that, of course, again, also allows children from poorer households to improve their life through education. And of course, not everybody is able and wants to go to university. And that's a third area where I think the UK could learn from other countries, and that is vocational training. So in Switzerland, in Germany, you have this system of vocational training where a young person learns a trade. For example, it could be machinery, or it could be being a shop assistant, or it could be anything, but they get a proper education in that trade. And it's a combination of school, so some theory, and practical on-the-job training in a company. And this system is extremely successful. For example, in Switzerland, which is one of the richest countries in the world, has actually not that many people going to university. I think only about 30% of the Swiss population has gone to university. But they have a very, very good vocational professional training, and the same is true in Germany. And both countries have a strong industry also because of that. And that also makes you then competitive compared with workers of other countries, and even with immigrants who come here. Because if you go through a proper education, and you know your stuff, you know your trade, you are not going to be pushed out because you know better, and you're gonna be managing these people. You're not gonna just be pushed out of your job. And I think the fourth thing is, I think we have to accept the fact that in today's world, and everybody can anytime get hit by that, the technological progress is massive, and you have more and more work that is getting automated. And I think we could be a bit more generous when people are losing their jobs because their whole industry is being disrupted, or there is competition from other countries that are entering the market. And I think we could be a bit more generous in these transitional phases, because when you get pushed out, you should have the opportunity to educate yourself, to learn a new job, learn something else that you can do where you can be productive again, get a job again. And I think we should be a bit more generous in this transitional period, so that people also have less pressure and less panic when they lose their job. And these are things, I think, which would really be worth fighting for, which would really improve your situation. And Brexit will not. It will make everything only worse. I mean, it's going to be like 2008 again. If you remember 2008, it was not the rich who lost the most. It was, I mean, the people who got, in the end, paid for the errors of the banks were not the bankers. And for the vote leave, it's going to be the same. It's not going to be the bankers, it's not going to be the rich people, it's not going to be the elite that will pay for the crisis that we will have economically. So please fight for the right thing. I mean, fight for something that really helps. I've listed a few things, and yes, be angry, and you have every right to be angry, and yes, go to demonstrate, go to Whitehall, make your voice heard. If you do, I'll be with you, because I think it's really wrong how this country treats its working class, in my opinion, and it's something that has to change.